Alright, welcome to a What About Cynics podcast special. Today we're tackling an issue that actually matters, which is scary and controversial, and so consequently we've done a modicum of research. Today it'll just be me, Aaron, and Harvey.
Hey Aaron, you're here twice, you fucking idiot.
Am I?
Me, Aaron and Harvey.
Oh. Well, yes.
Go on.
That's to sum up how much of the debate I'll be contributing to. But yeah, and we're discussing UKIP. Like, I don't know, I don't think we ever really push the fact that we're from the UK on the kind of blog, and I try and avoid kind of any sort of overt reference. But
Exactly.
I think
I won't mention Ant and Deck.
exactly, like, yeah, quaint British humour can basically go fuck itself, but every so often the British public will do something tremendously retarded, and I feel at times like this it's important that we take a second and think, why? And so recently, in the UK, for those of you who aren't familiar with UK politics, there was local elections across 34 councils, and a right-wing party called UKIP, which is the UK Independence Party, got like 20-something% of the vote and increased their council seats by several fold. They went from it was like 7 to like in the hundreds, 200s. Which is a pretty big thing considering what UKIP stand for, and I think that's probably the issue, that people don't know what UKIP stands for. So, in the most amateurish way possible, we've got the manifestos up online, and we're now going to poke fun at them, because if we were ever going to contribute something to society, this was probably it. So, get going.
And to be honest, I think we're thinking critically about it, sadly, more than most people are.
Exactly, and we didn't get a chance. Well, I didn't get a chance to vote. I don't know. In fact, I think you could have voted. I'm not sure. Did you get any propaganda in?
No, I got a free sample of toothpaste and a video about why Islam is evil through the fucking post, but I did not get anything about the UKIP vote.
Oh yeah, no, you weren't undervoting. Fair enough. Well, in that case, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even get to vote, but one day, 2 years from now, it's the national election, and I mean, the idea of UKIP getting even one, because that's the other thing, these guys have no MPs at the moment, and the idea of them getting one MP is scary, let alone 20%. I mean, well, times like this, I'm glad we've got first past the post.
Well, it's weird, because it's strange that people were worried that the BNP was going to get in, even though there was no real evidence they were going to get in. And now UKIP might do well. No one seems that concerned about it.
I don't know. I think there's been a bit of an out.
Well, of course they wouldn't, because they'd be more popular. That makes sense.
I guess David Cameron took back, because David Cameron's attack was to call them clowns and stuff.
Yeah. Oh man, where he really has stopped them in their tracks.
Yeah. Well, he's taken that back now, and he's like, oh, I guess if they got votes, then they have a point, which is terrible.
How does that work? That doesn't work.
Exactly. I mean, surely if anything, he's just dying to call more of the country clowns. But I guess that doesn't win you elections.
I would do that.
That's the thing. That's the thing that really annoyed me. He said, "Oh, we're going to work hard to get back the voters that we lost to UKIP," and it's like, I don't know. I mean,
that's weird. I don't like as soon as you have to be reactionary, like, oh, sorry. It's kind of like BT. BT weren't a very good broadband company for a long time. Virgin came in. They started getting a lot of complaints, and they were like, "Oh, maybe we'll try harder." It's like you should have been doing it in the first place. That makes you look like an asshole. It's like the man that cheats on his wife and then says that I won't cheat again. It's like you should have done it in the first place. I didn't want you to. So it makes you look. Yeah, go on, sorry.
Yeah, well, no, I agree, and this is the thing, because obviously he has insulted these people, and then now he's uninsulted these people, which almost legitimizes them more.
Yeah, no, keep taking the piss.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, I guess
the Conservatives aren't that much better.
No, well,
they are guilty of a lot of these things that we're going to talk about. There you go.
I guess this is one of the hopeful things, because maybe this is the new split in the right, like we had with the Lib Dems and Labour up until now. Because I don't know. That's something I don't know who voted for UKIP. Because you assume if people get disillusioned with the Conservatives, with the nature of our two-party system, then they go to Labour. But Evidently not.
Oh, I think
So,
everyone, my granddad still complains about Gordon Brown every fucking day.
does he think he's still in control or something?
I don't know. I know he like read The Sun, and The Sun didn't like Gordon Brown. No, my granddad doesn't like Gordon Brown.
That is...
Are there a lot of papers complimenting UKIP? Because that might be the problem.
No, not even, I don't think.
Because that seems to be where most of my family get their...
Even the Mirror was and kind of stuff like that against UKIP. I don't know. I'm surprised the Daily Mail hasn't decided to back them or something. Because to be fair, that'd be really funny if one of the papers started to back UKIP.
Go on, hit us with some of the stuff.
Okay, so we've got the manifesto up. So anyone who kind of wants to fact check us, we're doing the 2013 local manifesto, which, though I'm not assuming barely anyone of the 20-something% that voted for UKIP actually read this thing. And if they did, I probably hate them more than the people who didn't. But actually, that's a bit harsh. Whatever. Yeah. And so we're going to be using the 2013 one. But I've also got the 2010 national one up, which is what people would be voting for if we had an election like tomorrow. And so it starts off with the public service is under threat.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, I voted already, just based on that. No. Basically, because Britain's part of the EU, then in 2014, beginning of 2014, then Romania and Bulgaria's people will be able to, in theory, travel into Britain and work and live, etc.
Bastards.
Yeah, because that's...
Exactly.
And so Nigel Farage, who's the leader of UKIP, is obviously very against this because they don't like Europe and they don't like foreigners stealing our jobs.
No, well, the thing is, when they say control, I imagine, and pretty sure we have a border control already.
Yeah.
So we already control.
We're the only place in the Shanghai area that does. I mean, this is why on the way back in you need to get your passport checked.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, that line there, it's really terrifying coming back into England.
It feels really. Yeah, I get what you mean. It's definitely a deterrent, but yeah.
It definitely, exactly.
But this is the thing. I mean, and other than kind of the channel, like the channel and the train and all that, then, and I've used the Eurotunnel. That thing's pretty secure as well. I'm not. So I'm really not sure what they're worried about in terms of illegal and kind of unregistered.
Well, they don't seem to be. So when they say control, there doesn't seem to be that much of a problem at the moment. Aside from like people who sneak in, which
their problem is just that people can come over full stop, which is such a non-issue. It hurts because I mean that's just them fundamentally being against Eastern European immigration, which is obviously I guess that becomes more of a personal issue, but we're against.
Because if they come over, then what's because they're obviously scared that they'll start claiming welfare. I assume is the real worry, or are they worried that they'll be working and sending the money back?
The combination. I mean, if you look at like the first thing that says nearly a quarter of European nationals, which is a generous quarter because it's only 500,000 out of 2.3 million, and this statistic is from the Express, so I'm not sure if I trust it, but yeah, and so these are people who've never been economically inactive and never worked in this country. So I'm guessing it's benefits, unless they're just not working and not sending the money home. In which case, how dare they?
Yeah, because if it's benefits, then so you've got to. I swear to God, you've got to be here for 12 months before you can start claiming benefits and welfare. You've got to be here 12 months before you can start using the NHS for anything other than oh my God, my leg just got cut off in a mining accident. I don't know. So. We don't just leave you dying in the street. Yeah. They take you to the hospital. So, aside from that, you need to be here for 12 months. So, I mean, so they're not coming in and just getting a house. They have to be here for 12 months, which I assume means they have to eat, which I assume means that they're. And you can't get a work visa without being here for 12 months or applying for a work visa, which means that you'd be working. And they keep complaining that apparently, all our services are completely, are being overrun. So yeah, bring in more workers to work them. And also, if someone comes in with a work visa and legally does work, they're also complaining about unemployment. So obviously, there should be no real reason why anyone's unemployed.
Why they can all just get jobs?
Yeah. If
True, but
people
you
are
know,
coming
the
and
reason
getting...
that we're all unemployed is because those immigrants have taken our job, Harvey. That's
Well,
the
apparently they're still coming in and getting jobs, so there must be fucking jobs. So what's the problem?
true, but British
Just
people
make...
don't want to do those jobs.
Well
That's
then,
the inherent arrogance of it all. I know,
well,
it's
yeah,
complete
it makes no
bullshit.
sense.
Yeah,
Well, let's have some fucking Bulgarian guys come in then. I don't mind.
exactly. I mean, you know, I'm getting bored of all these fucking Polish jokes.
Mm.
Let's see what you can do with Bulgaria.
Yeah, people sort of got old with it. Yeah, is it just that we've run out of Polish jokes?
I think it's just that we realise that it's a bit weird and racist, and that, I like to think that everyone who made a Polish guy they quite liked, and so felt bad about it. But I don't think it's such an ideal world.
There's a great Doug Stanhope joke which said he was saying people get angry that Mexican people are stealing their jobs, and he was saying if you get your job stolen by a guy who's probably just run halfway through a desert, is dirty, malnourished, and barely speaks English, and takes a job from you, then you are the biggest fucking loser in the world, and shouldn't be complaining about that.
Yeah, I quite like that.
It's like, you glorify your failure in the face of someone who you are basically saying is because also it just assumes that everyone who comes from Bulgaria to work in England is suddenly this scoundrel.
And it's weird because they're like, oh, and you can't even really complain that they're willing to work for less because we have a damn minimum wage. Like, they can pay them exactly the same that they can pay you.
Exactly.
Like,
and so if the pay's being undercut, that's not a problem with immigration. That's a problem with businesses.
That's the minimum wage. You know what's a problem with the Conservatives? We'll get to that in a second. Yeah. The second bit is hilarious because it comes from the Daily Mail, and it's vast waves of the countryside will be sacrificed to build new homes for immigrants. Migrants accounted for almost half of the housing demand. 100,000 new homes a year. So these migrants who don't work and receive benefits are going to have 100,000 new homes built for them a year. Which is impressive, really, considering they haven't got any money to build this home.
Right, so they haven't worked, they've turned up. So they've been living... I imagine that's right. So they've been living in England somehow for a year.
Yep.
Then they have to get
planning their new house in the countryside, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn! Why don't we live in England? Oh wait, we do. It sounds like the land of dreams.
I mean, is a lot of countries being taken over?
Not even, because you know what the greenbelt refers to: the pieces of land you can't build on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would. We just wouldn't do that, surely.
The Greenbelt isn't under threat because we solved the countryside being under threat via the Greenbelt.
Oh.
It's retarded. I mean, and I don't know who Nick Bowles is, planning minister, but I think he's been quoted either out of context or is a moron.
Well, as we're going to find out, a lot of these people are morons.
True, we've dug up some dirt on.
And this isn't slanderous. This is fact.
No. We only deal with facts and our own opinions.
By the way, where are you looking? You're sort of
I'm still on the public service bit, like the second page with all the pictures, pretty pictures.
Oh, I see all the pictures. Yeah, there we go. Right, okay, go on.
So then we have Philip Homenvom, MP, saying Britain is facing an influx of almost 500,000 Romanians and Bulgarians. The number of people from both countries could treble to more than. But that doesn't treble.
Yeah.
Halfway up. That's less than 500,000.
It could travel to more than almost 500,000. Could travel to more than 425,000. Yeah, no, that's the same number.
Yeah,
it doesn't travel; it remains the same. The figure has already skyrocketed from 29,000 to 155,000 since Romania and Bulgaria joined the EU. Yeah, but this Britain is facing the influx of almost 500,000 Romanians. That's just made up.
Yeah, that's not a thing. Oh,
also,
we're not talking about.
Our population is going down. It's only immigration that keeps it going up.
True, so but they don't want that because remember they don't count like immigrants as British people.
It's true. This is very odd, yeah, because we need immigration. We work on immigration. Like if we don't have immigration, we will have a what do they call it?
Labour shortage, I think you mean.
Yeah, labour shortage. I was going to use there was a geographical term for when it becomes like a basin population or something, where like you have too many old people, too many young people.
Oh, like that, yeah.
Yeah. Sure. I forgot what it was called, but yeah, no, we need immigration. I mean, and I assume there's control measures already in effect.
Well, yeah.
So we don't need. Their control seems to be stop them coming in, which is ridiculous.
We have no rights to do.
I mean, we're not preaching for open borders. This isn't like Machete. I don't want that to happen because that would, I can see how that would completely destroy the entire infrastructure.
Well, this is, I mean, this is a thing, because like 29 million people can come across if they want to, but they won't.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the ridiculous part of it all. I mean, I'm really pro EU. I'm guessing I'm getting. I imagine you aren't quite as up and like as for it, or are you?
From what I know about the EU is we profit from it and it's good. Well, it allows me to go on holiday in Europe very easily. It's
Exactly.
fantastic for tourism. It seems to be very good for trade, and we don't lose money from it. We make a lot of money from it.
Exactly.
So I'm not really seeing what the problem is.
Sure, well, this is. I mean, this is one of the more ridiculous. I mean, that's a good lead into the next one, which is a lovely little picture of Ed Miliband's face. And I think this is the one talking about the expanded EU and the costs of it. And
it's a bad picture.
Yeah.
They have cheated there.
They claim that we lose like, what is it, like 53 million a day?
Yeah.
To it, which I don't think is including the rebate. If you just, yeah. And so
no.
Even with that in, I mean, just the sheer amount, like people, whenever these kind of parties throw in statistics about the EU, they always neglect how much we make back from it, and this is one of the most like fundamentally annoying things. Like, yes, there are immigrants and stuff like that, but I mean, even places in North Somerset, where I reside, has benefited amazingly from things like the European Commission for like development. I mean, it expanded Portishead itself at different points, but like fun.
But not into the green belt.
I don't think Portishead has the green belt actually. We can expand forever. To accommodate all these Bulgarians.
Yeah, bloody hell. Half a million. That's going to triple to 425,000.
God damn it!
Exactly.
I mean, this is kind of there's such one-sided like slander, and I mean their entire issue is Europe.
Yeah.
So you think that they could at least build a solid case for that?
Well, they haven't, but their solid cases. We're going to use big numbers that you can't possibly comprehend. 53 million pounds a day. Somebody who does like the weekly shop and complains that it's about 200 quid goes, bloody hell, that's too much money. But that's how much shit costs. Yeah. Stuff just costs a lot of money.
If you want to be in one of the best clubs in the world, then pay quite a lot and get quite a lot back.
Exactly. It's sort of, yeah, when I sort of lived on my own and had to start, buying food, I thought, wow, food's quite expensive. But then again, of course food's quite expensive relatively because I wasn't paying for myself. I was living for free. So yeah, you just use it's just a way of using, firstly, one-sided, oh, this is how much we spend, obviously not how much we get back, because, why is that important? But just using big money. I don't know how much 53 million pounds. I can't comprehend that number. That's too big.
That's a lot of food.
What's that a year? Was it 9 billion or something?
Well, I just tried to do this.
Did you say? Forget how much you said.
It doesn't even seem to work, and it doesn't fit in with either of the numbers we've been told. So I'm assuming they're going for, because it works out at kind of 19 billion rather than. So
are you using the American billion or the English billion?
Oh shit! Yeah. Yeah, all right then. Yeah, they're going for 16 billion.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry. That's weird. They should really use the British billion. These bastards.
Unless it's 1.6 billion, which is quite cheap.
No, it's more than that.
Okay.
That would be such a. I mean, hell. I'd put that.
For yourself, I take out a double mortgage on the fucking house.
I do that credit card thing. I just take out so many credit, like Kevin Smith did for Clerks. I just take out like 1 million credit cards.
But I mean,
the EU's on me this year, chaps.
It does seem to be. I want to get away from the EU. You have no real reason why. You just kind of want to be independent.
It's on principle, isn't it?
But this idea of independency, it doesn't benefit you. It's sort of, you think you're going to use your national identity. Well, why do you care? The culture has changed so much. Like, why do we care any more now about our culture than when it was 200 years ago? It just changes. That's how it's going to happen.
Exactly. I mean, immigration is natural. I mean, the first migration is, everything is migration.
And to assume that your culture shouldn't change is to assume that your culture is the optimum it is. Well, it definitely isn't.
Exactly.
There's no way it is.
This isn't the zenith of culture. And it is, I want out.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it seems to be just reactionary. Oh, we need to be independent. I don't know why this is happening. This isolationism seems to happen every now and again.
I think it's just a reaction. I
Does it
think it's
just
just
happen
a,
after recessions? Is that
it's an
it?
acceptable form of xenophobia, I guess. I mean,
Yeah,
this is like because they can justify it with numbers, etc. But at the end of the day, this is just kind of small-minded. Oh, we don't want foreigners here. But you
basically.
can if you phrase it like this is why people don't. This is why seemingly the EU's become such a kind of hate magnet because the people who just don't like it on principle and the people who don't like it for genuine reasons
Yeah.
because there are. I mean, I'll admit the EU's not perfect. Like they
Well,
kind of combined. It's just
and like as you said, like the only policies they bring up are the only policies they bring up, right? They never say that the EU is costing us too much money. Well, they do say that, but they don't say how much profit it brings us in, which is more than we give. So the profit reason isn't it? And the only two policies they say, which is why the EU is a bad thing, is what was it? It was the landfill.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get to
Oh, we're
UKIP
gonna get to
misdirection in a minute, but
Okay.
for
I was just going to
now,
say, so the policies they keep pointing at is the landfill directive and the one about fish, I
oh, the
believe. What was
fish,
that?
the
The,
common fisheries
the common
act.
fisheries policy, which yes includes the dumping fish issue, which but like, really, are we going to fish and littering?
Well, even then,
Are
I mean,
those
like we
really?
said, we've worked out that the Common
Yeah.
Fishery Commission's a pretty good thing, and we worked out the Landfill Commission is actually to stop landfilling and to
Yeah,
keep
exactly.
sustainable water. So
Ah,
these,
but
this
then
is
obviously we're arguing from the opposite end of their assumption that with their entire assumption is them like saying that the European Union saying, oh, you shouldn't just throw poison in the water because it's bad for the environment and you need to tone down the amount of carbon you're using and you need to get your green
yeah.
policy up, is because they don't think that climate change is a real thing, which is a problem. I mean, that there is a lot of evidence for climate change. The very way that the greenhouse effect works is just just one of the many ways that climate change works, and it would be very difficult to argue against the greenhouse effect because it's what
Sure.
keeps us alive right now. So
Yeah. Well, this
yeah,
is.
and so I mean, yeah, basically we're arguing against people who basically say, oh, they're bloody raising the energy prices, because global warming, is they say global warming's happening. No, global warming, is it called global warming anymore?
I don't think so. I mean,
This is the problem. It's
this
been
whole
given like,
area is I haven't looked
well,
at in a
the
while,
the
but I
problem.
know there's been some controversy about
I
it.
know this from talking to my grandparents. Basically, is that papers and stuff call it global warming because it's an easily digestible word, and then slowly it starts being turned into climate change. Like you remember, it was called what was it? It was called the what was it? You remember when the depression started happening,
Oh yeah,
and they called it a word. It was a really
is the
stupid word.
recession or not?
Yeah, it was the recession, but they called it something, didn't they? They called it
They call it a meltdown. If that's what you mean.
nah. God, I'm trying to think. It was called the I was thinking of credit crunch.
Credit crunch.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about that entirely. Yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah. Is that similar?
I can't even remember. Yeah, I guess so, because it was all about how the bankers' bonds were kind of disintegrating, etc. But I'm not sure if it's kind of I don't know. It was a bit sensationalist.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Oh, I see. Fair enough. Anyway, on to
No. So I had to finish,
go
finish my point about credit crunch.
on.
Okay, maybe that's similar. But anyway, so yeah, so you've got the papers using a different word, and then it's just climate change. It's always been climate change because it's not just about warming. It was just a simple soundbite. And now you get people like my grandparents, which I assume is a lot of the fucking country,
What a
who will then
terrible
hear.
assumption to make, but probably
I
true.
don't, I don't know, because but anyway, they then hear the term climate change and be like, oh, they're not calling it global warming, they've just changed the name. Well, it's always been called climate change. It's just because the fucking papers used to use the word global warming that now they
Hmm.
think someone's tricking them. And it's sort of this backwards kind of reasoning, which is like, climate change, the idea of climate change has come in, so we're bringing in green policies, and that means that energy prices are going up because, energy companies are abusing it by raising their prices.
Yeah,
So, and then people say, oh, global warming must therefore be, climate change must therefore be, some sort of conspiracy to make us, pay higher gas prices. It's not. It's a real thing, and people just happen to be abusing the system. It's basically the equivalent of when people like say, oh, God doesn't exist because, oh, the Catholic Church is evil. It's not that. It's just that something may or may not be the case. It's just that humans are abusing the situation. That doesn't make it not true. And so, for some reason, the fucking UKIP people seem to be under this impression that sort of energy prices are being raised because everything's evil, and that climate change is just a conspiracy by the EU who just want to piss away loads of people's time and money to sell them what they call green scams. And so we're arguing against people who fundamentally ignore scientific evidence about climate change. So we can't win. Sorry, I know that was a bit drawn out.
That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. But it needs to be said. But we're going to move on to Nigel Farage himself. He has a little assigned statement on the third page. Yeah, the third page. Accompanied by a little picture of his face. I think he looks oddly reptilian. I know we shouldn't. I know we have plenty of actual things to criticize him about, but I just noticed there. Like, do you remember the lizard men from kind of Oblivion, etc.?
Or the Argonians.
Yeah.
He does look like an Argonian. I imagine him sitting there saying, "Fry powdered deer penis."
Yeah. I mean, anyway, that's petty and bad. This isn't about video games. This is about politics.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's been a remarkable year for UKIP. This thing is full of misdirection. And he starts right off. It's like, we've beaten the government in 3 Westminster by-elections. Like, first of all, that is definitely meant to imply that they've won 3 by-elections. UKIP has never won a by-election to my knowledge. And what happens is that the government is literally so unpopular that in 3 incredibly Labour seats, or mostly 3 seats that Labour ended up winning, they came third, or they came second.
Yes, okay.
Like, I mean, obviously now that they've just come third in the country, I guess they can claim that again. So it's pure manipulation. And then the second bit is even more laughable.
Because most people are going to assume that the government... Yeah, go on.
40% of people say they're considering voting UKIP across the country. Like, that's...
Considering means
yeah,
nothing.
What does that mean? I mean, I'm considering blowing my brains out, but it won't happen. So this is completely nonsensical.
This is stopping people in the street saying, "Are you considering UKIP?" And they just say, "Oh, maybe." Because I haven't thought about it because I'm hungry. I'm going to go to McDonald's now.
Yeah, I don't really want to say no to you because you look a bit violent.
Exactly.
It'd be a bit awkward.
You look reptilian. I bet Nigel Farage is on there, on the front line.
Why are you talking to me from the ceiling, Mr. Farage?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, the UKIP as always, and Nigel Farage has always styled himself as a kind of, like, some sort of they're scared of me because my thoughts are so good and I'm so kind of popular and in touch with the people, so they deride me. And he's really trying to portray himself as some sort of kind of, like, oh, everyone would vote for me except we're all too scared, so you should all vote for me en masse.
Yeah.
So
it's this because they always use the word common sense.
Yeah,
and it's this sort of nationalistic, common sense, which means not having to think about anything or take anyone else's sort of international or sort of like environmental policies in hand, because it's like, well, I just want to live my life in local community. I don't need to worry about what's going on in international stage. Well, you do. You just do now.
Yeah, especially now. I mean, you've got that lovely thing called the internet.
Exactly.
Like international trade everywhere. Like, globalization has never been so prevalent as it is now. It's just like, yeah, you can't just shut yourself off from the world. And this is the thing, because then he goes on to say, like, there's a couple of paragraphs we're going to skip out because they're just kind of why you should vote UKIP. So those are all about, like he said, local power, local people.
Yeah, the local.
Then he goes on to the crux of the issue, which is on January 1st, the UK will open its doors to an unlimited number of people from Romania and Bulgaria.
Unlimited?
Yeah.
That's impressive. I didn't know that Romania had unlimited people. What are they? Are they fucking flies? Jesus Christ! That makes them sound like literally a swarm. It doesn't make them sound like people.
It does make it sound like science fiction, doesn't it? It's like, and then the infinite Romanians did come. It's
basically, you remember like when Zap Brannigan, it's about how he defeated the Killbots.
Waves.
Wave after wave of my old men. I mean, it's basically, this is what he's describing them as. It is fucking racist.
It's incredible.
It's just xenophobic. Oh, I'm frightened of these people because they'll come in and ruin us. People.
Our country is so great and theirs is so terrible. Which is what he later goes on to say.
Yeah. Did I tell you my gran when she said, "In 10 years we'll all be Muslim"? She said that 12 years ago. Wrong. Just wrong. Why would we be Muslim now?
We must now break for the call to prayer. But we'll be right back. So, anyway.
We got to do it another 5 times during the podcast.
So we have Nigel. Go on.
Television must be very annoying in Islam, because if you've got 24-hour rolling news.
Well, I told you, I've watched Al Jazeera Kids quite a lot, and I've never seen a break for prayer, so
really?
I don't know.
That's
but,
awful.
Yeah, I mean,
is any of it live?
If your favourite show's going, well, no, but if your favourite show's going on, they could at least pause for a bit while you go pray. I mean,
you could pray with the TV on in the background.
Well, yeah, but I'm not watching it while I'm praying, am I? And if I am, then I'm not praying hard enough.
You're listening. It's true. You're not paying attention if you're listening to Al Jazeera Kids.
Exactly. Yeah. I want to see the kid guess what country that is on the board, but equally, I've got to go pray to my infinite shepherd. So, Al Jazeera Kids wouldn't watch. Anyway, on to common sense policies.
Oh, common sense. There's that word again. And how many times do you say the word local?
Best word, because it applies to working class folks. Like
exactly.
I don't use that common sense.
I see what I see, and I say what I see.
Sometimes I wonder if we're like the pretentious elites that they really hate.
Maybe. But hey, maybe we can just take a Nigel Farage sort of look on it and be like, oh, well, that means we're right. You disagree with me.
Indeed, and hell, we are right.
We're not saying we're right. We're just pointing out the sort of the seemingly hidden agenda and the the sort of completely.
Well, we're reading this thing.
Yeah,
like that's what you should do.
Exactly. We're just pointing out the problems with their argument. We're not saying that the EU is the best thing, but that there don't seem to be many problems with it.
Exactly. It's going pretty down. I mean, obviously you've got the crisis, but this crisis is global. The hint's in the name. It's not the EU's fault. Anyway, but yeah, first common sense policy. Tax should be as low as possible.
Right.
Now, I'm pretty sure as low as possible tax can go is 0.
Exactly.
And I'm pretty sure at that point the country stops running.
Well, this is the as you said, like the problem is like the next few ones are more police on the street, cracking down on crime, and controlling immigration, money for local services. Well, you know what? The reason we don't have any fucking money or to to do nice thing, if the tax went lower, you wouldn't be able to afford these things. He basically wants these things for free. I don't know if he wants extra volunteers or something, but he seems to.
Yeah, well,
then we'd lose money from our EU trading, so we would have less money. And then he wants less money. Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, go on. So say tax. Yeah. Taxes is made as low as possible. Yep.
Yeah.
First thing. We now have no money of which to protect the green belt or crack down on crime. No police. Yeah, I mean, cutting. You've got to cut every council executive because they're not being. They're not getting paid anymore. You can't control immigration either because I think airports have just collapsed at this point.
Well, said,
it's nonsensical.
So he said give power back to the council, but then he's going to get rid of executives and managers. How the fuck are they going to manage?
Well, everyone is going to be a grunt in the glorious Farage society.
Exactly. Well, it's this local power. He wants less governmental control. Then he's going to get rid of the funding for these things by cutting the tax. And then I think he wants to bring in a form of health insurance, doesn't he? He keeps mentioning health insurance.
Yeah, something about that. But I think that's health insurance for foreigners, isn't it? I thought he wants the NHS for British people.
Exactly. Even though as we looked up, the NHS only allows you things for accidents, and if you've got bipolar disorder and you turn up and you need psychiatric treatment while you're in our country, but aside from that, you need to be an entire year. It's this year thing. I don't know if people will invest a year squatting around in England.
Well, yeah, I mean, how will they live?
No, they just wouldn't be able to live. Like, the rules have been set up. If these rules are failing, it's not the policies are there. It's just the enforcement. So he's got nothing to change.
Exactly. I mean, we don't need such an extreme reaction. This is the other thing. There's more police on the street, and there's cracking down on crime and social behaviour. And throughout these manifestos, it's always stated that crime is on some sort of horrific rise. Like the Joker has just moved in and brought the Penguin with him, and that we need a savior. But crime is at an all-time low, and it's on a downward trend. I mean, even with immigration, etc., which perhaps says something about British people. It's just. Well, this is the thing. And why do we need more police? What are these police going to be doing? Are they going to be busting the ever-decreasing amount of crime?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we have loads of police around our area. I assume that's because there's a high crime rate.
Yeah, that's because you live in a city.
Yeah, exactly. We just live in a city. But I mean, I assume most of the people who are worried about this are just people who sit around
in the country. This is the thing. I mean,
watching TV all day, and they're like, "Oh shit, there's loads of weird, bad stuff happening." Well, of course it is. You've got fucking 24-hour rolling news now. You've got information. We have loads of more sources of information. So yeah, bad things always seem to be happening because the world has been horrible. We're actually weirdly in the most peaceful era that we've probably ever been in. It's still shit,
exactly,
but it was a lot shitter.
Like this is the weird thing, because like clearly this is, I just realized this, like this kind of thing, because there are very few police people in our policemen women in our area, in my area at least.
Yeah.
But that's obviously because nothing happens, and because we like live very rural. And I just realized the people he's appealing to are those kind of like rural suburbanites, and like there's a good reason there aren't more police on this street, because they don't have anything to do as it is. I mean, we have that's the other thing. He makes a distinction between real police and kind of, I don't know, we call them hobby bobbies, but that's a degrading name. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
And
hobby bobbies.
Yeah, that's really scummy. But yeah, and like that's all we need. I mean, one of them legitimately yelled at me when I was, I think, 18 or 19, maybe 17. That I had a can of Coke in my hand. Like, these people clearly have nothing to do as it is. They have. The streets are clear. I mean, obviously, you can call me white privileged, whatever, and I know there is crime is a thing in the UK, but like I said, it's decreasing. You don't need more police. The police seem adequate. I mean, I went to the anti-BNP protests in Bristol, and I saw the police force. The police force works fine. They're fucking scary, all right? They're doing a good job.
Yeah, would surely need some more fundamental, like, change, not really just more police on the street.
Well, I mean, this is like such a ham-fisted idea. It's like, oh yeah, let's just throw more police at the problem. Like, exactly. No, you need police that know what they're doing and where to be.
Oh, we need the police that are doing it for free as well, apparently, because you don't have any money to do it.
What he wants is some sort of junta, like a paramilitary police force, just to control us rather than crime. It might be a bit sensational, but you get what I mean.
Exactly.
Nonsensical.
And the lower tax thing, he also complains constantly about how everything's costing us money and how we need to get the deficit back up. He wants to lower tax, which is like, I assume, the main source of how you clear your deficit. But then he wants to basically like scrape for pennies by, you know, firing fake police and firing council managers, which won't save you any fucking money, and stop maybe like the few 100,000 people that come to our country get in an accident and have to use the NHS. It can't cost a lot. Surely old people. Surely the fundamental problem is old people. I don't know. Like,
true, but you can't. But they're the only ones who vote. You can't slander old people.
Exactly. But I mean, if we've already taken up a philosophy where we can just be like, oh fuck people, like just whenever the hell you want, then why not old people? Old people are a lot more useless than Bulgarian people.
Yeah.
But just because they're British, it's this. I mean, I know you've got to protect your own civilians first, but we're not protecting anyone against anything.
No. It's such it's so mundane, and it's just kind of like there's no logic. I mean, I seriously think like they are one of the votes they're relying on, I think, is old people vote. Though equally, I don't know, because there's this kind of like the debate in my head, because old people really like to stick to one party. Like, you know,
that's true.
I'm pretty sure one of my granddads has always voted Conservative, probably always will, and like I don't know if that's for ideological reasons or not, but like this is the thing, because I'm not sure if this appeals to all people. I guess it does, because it's all about kind of respect and police and order and law and immigrants, etc.
Yeah, no, I think it is hitting those, because they're nationalists. I assume people that grew up during the war are quite nationalist people.
Are they even? I mean, I don't think any of my grandparents were around. Like, didn't fight in the war.
Hey, my granddad was 3 during the war, and he talks about it like he was fucking there. So I think just if you lived near the war, you can talk about it.
Wow.
Exactly. I think it's the way the people
are. See, my grandparents don't do that, and they were in the military. That's really bad.
Exactly.
But that's the other thing they've obviously got going is local government, because people fucking love local government, because only working class slobs like you can sort out the problems with your area. Like, in no way can a multi-billion-dollar organization who runs an entire country ever deal with your hometown.
With their police force army.
Yeah, and their election processes that aren't just kind of petty, like, parish politics.
No. And so basically, all they're going to do is
Well, we've got like
just make
there's 6 buzzwords. There's cut costs, improve
Yeah.
services, achieve consensus, stop
Yeah.
for local government, gravy train, and preserve our communities.
Yeah. Because I'm sure no one within the UKIP party would ever, start abusing the system. This isn't a problem, surely, with the party's politics. This is just what human beings do. I'm not trying to be pessimistic. Well, I am being pessimistic, but I'm also not going to be idealistic. Like everyone in the UKIP party is going to be like, oh, just looking out for local community. I can't see that happening. Although, are they making the government smaller because they seem to be brushing all the sort of problems off on the local community?
Well, they describe themselves as libertarian, which in America, obviously, America's opposed to big government as a whole. But I get the impression they prefer less big government, so more like localized government, states' rights if you'd be in America. But obviously, we don't have states, so I guess county rights or council rights. So that sounds really gay.
Yes,
lame.
it does.
Sorry.
The council are the people that replant the flowers and fix the road.
Yeah, they're the ones who hold Best of Britain awards.
Exactly.
They're not the ones you want organizing consensus or cutting costs.
And surely the reason that you have sort of the government really in full control of it is because councils are usually quite badly run. So
yeah, well, they're corrupt.
You can have loads of really badly run facilities. I mean, I would rather have one badly run thing than loads of badly run things.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, like the councils are so they don't communicate. They're so unaffected.
Exactly.
They're kind of they're right with kind of regional bias, etc.
Yeah, it would fuck up. You'd have loads of inconsistencies, county per county.
I just found a really nice thing. We don't believe that councils have to stand by and just wave through the wishes of central government and big business. Well, central government's pretty useful, and I really like big business because they employ most people. Like, state what you want about it. I mean, this is that whole protect the high street thing that people go on about.
Which I will accept. The high street is nice, but if we're gonna be capitalist,
yeah, the best thing wins.
The best thing wins, and if the best service is Tesco's, and that puts fucking Jimmy's deli out of business, then Jimmy was not competitive enough.
Exactly.
And I feel very sorry for Jimmy.
You've got your iPhone and your big screen TV, so you got those from Tesco's as well, I'd wager. So
and I mean, they seem to be capitalist as fuck because they want to lower taxes as much as possible.
Well, this is the libertarian thing because they like small government, but they also like they're just generally quite right wing. Because this is then we go on to six UKIP priorities, which is where we get to kind of immigration control, local referenda, which is a strange one. It goes, it's time to bring power back to the people, so the majority of decisions should be made. No, the major decisions, should be made subject to a binding local referenda if the people demand it. On the petition of 5% of the local population, major planning and services decisions should be put to a local vote. Now, I guess local vote means, how do you divide local? Because
county.
But knowing how petty people are, then I'm pretty sure we could get kind of what constitutes 5% to just dick over another town. I don't think local is such a stupid word. Because because that means that if you do it by county, that means that 5% of the population, aka say Portishead, could initiate a referendum county-wide in North Somerset, but therefore everyone else has got to vote on.
Yeah. And also,
local referenda are expensive. Referendums are expensive in general. Direct democracy is a lovely idea in theory, but it just doesn't work. This is the whole reason we have representative government. Because in Athens, everyone could vote because there was 20,000 of them.
Exactly, and yes, it would take so long to, for the government to be sending out, fucking messengers all the time. That it made sense.
Is a ridiculously small amount. I mean, that's basically that. That's a Facebook group you could get.
And also, what does major decisions mean? Recently, I don't know, our village decided to build another AstroTurf.
Yeah.
My granddad voted against it. He didn't think the kids needed another AstroTurf.
Is this actually real?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. He asked me. In all fairness, I did the ultimate version of censorship. You needed to email in your email. No, you needed to email in your decision of whether or not you wanted the AstroTurf. And he asked me to show him how to email, and I refused.
Ah, you did.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I approve of you denying his political right,
Well,
because it's his right to be an asshole.
to be honest, I was trying to play Red Dead Redemption, and I didn't give a shit. So it was through not giving a shit, not
Well,
like, oh, I'm opposed to this
fair enough.
morally.
Well, the AstroTurf
Yeah.
isn't exactly. It's
Exactly.
not make or break.
But that was seen as like a major planning decision. So I don't know what major. Where does major start?
Well, that's the
These
thing. 'Cause
vague.
the other obviously pressing issue is local politics classes the weirdest, stupidest things as major. Like currently, Portishead. I hate the fact I keep calling Portishead into this, but Portishead is currently its battlefield debate is about a skate park, and I don't want government money raced to the fucking local referenda about the skate park.
Yeah.
That is, especially if there's no taxes, we're going to need what money we've got left.
I never really got why are skate parks like skate parks of all the types of things.
Grungy and
Do people skate?
poor people hang out there. Yeah, people
I
still. I mean, you were surprised when I told you that I used to skate. No, people do skate. It's the thing. I mean, I think, like I said, I think it's white suburbia, not a lot of cars.
I'd
roads.
forgotten you used to skate, but that's pretty lame.
It's pretty lame. I agree, it's lame.
Are you any good? Any good?
I could go in a straight line and I could do a jumpy thing. And ollie.
Damn, Darren, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I was hip hop gangster B.
So you got proper controls on immigration,
Yeah.
which means basically don't let anyone in.
Yeah. It means by EU.
Manageable numbers.
This is the thing. Go on.
I can't imagine that we don't have a system that doesn't let in manageable numbers.
Yeah, I mean,
we have population policy, so unless these things are just saying, hey, let's just let everyone in, have a fucking party.
This is the same thing, because the only people who kind of get that, agree, it's like, oh, they're unmanageable numbers, are people who just seem like, oh, this might be generalizing, but just seemingly people who were against immigration in the first place.
Yeah. Are there too many people?
I don't know. I don't
think there are too many people. We have loads of fucking countryside to burn down yet.
But we must protect our green belts, Avi. The last bastion of. I mean, what happens if lovely Portishead gets connected to that nasty city?
Bloody hell, Aaron! It'll be a big Bristol.
Yeah, I can't wait for big Bristol. Buses might be cheaper.
or a massive Portishead.
Portishead just de facto takes over. That'd be amazing.
Exactly. Through a local vote.
Yeah, through the referendum. Yeah,
local. So
anyway,
then we've got fighting crime and antisocial behaviour. Well,
oh yeah,
crime,
I didn't even see that
on.
at the bottom. Crime again. God damn, they love crime.
And then there's spending our money at home. It's this, again, this $53 million pounds a day. I would love to know how much money we actually spend a day on Britain. I bet it's way more than that.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
Obviously, I mean, yeah, it's tons, and this is the.
It's pocket change. It is pocket change.
But I mean, even if it wasn't, then the money we're getting back is still significant, and kind of like being part of Europe is great. I mean, London is probably is one of the most. I think it has out of the top 5 2 of the most visited tourist attractions in the world, and that's because quite a lot of Europe can get here rather easily. And that's not even talking about the kind of like educational benefits, like things like Erasmus and traveling to different schools, exchange students and stuff, and kind of even just tourism. I mean, like, you know, I mean, I was in a long distance relationship. I could just go whenever I wanted. I didn't have to fill out a damn visa to get there.
I know, yeah. Well, travel is incredible. I mean, it must help the tourism economy.
Well, obviously, I mean, you know, I mean, think how much money like Bristol Airport and stuff extracted out of me alone by the fact that travel was made easy, and you replicate that however many thousands of times across the country, and then people coming in, like, and they spend money, like, regardless of what you say, it's nonsense.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and do the math. I'm just working out.
I'm going to. Where is it? What your UKIP count? I don't care what the UKIP councillors will work for when discussing that. Though I do love the way they keep using culture and heritage.
Yes.
Very kind of I mean, they're conservative with a bit more bigotry, or a bit more. I mean, I'd say the conservatives are still pretty bigoted, but that's because I'm a bit of a socialist fag. But like, they are just kind of, they're just neoconservatives. I mean, you know, family, culture, safety, these kind of suburban buzzwords.
That is true, and also, well, yeah, they've used the word local. Well, then again, this is a local vote.
Oh yeah, true. But they use the word local in the national one as well.
But as you pointed out, local is meaningless. Fix doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, fix implies broke.
exactly. And I don't know, like I know that in that other one they use the word realize a lot. They were
Yeah.
like, we realize, and then once they realized, it was like UKIP knows. Yes, they know, and just these very ridiculous sort of over the top words, just saying as if UKIP, they're your savior. I know that this is all obviously propaganda. It has to be propaganda
Well,
at
here's
some
another
level.
thing I just realised. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think UKIP? Bearing in mind we know their policies about government, etc. What do you think UKIP's policies on defence are, Harvey?
No idea. See, they don't mention any of this stuff.
Well, I've gone to the national one now.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it's on there. Okay.
Yeah, but that, like, spend an extra 40% on annual defence, 1% of the GDP. Like,
Mm.
like how? What is paying for this?
Yeah, I know. Well, they've already said so. We're saving. Well, their way seems to be that we get rid of Europe to save money, but then we lower taxes. So are we? Surely,
Yeah.
we're
Well,
losing a
and
lot more money, or we're paying less
and
back to the deficit.
I just read the rest of it. They want to restore the Royal Navy to its 2001 strength.
But we don't need it.
They want, yeah, they increased RAF. Like, this is insane. I didn't realize. Like, when I heard, I guess I put too much faith in the term libertarian. Clearly these guys are just militarists.
Well, I mean,
Like,
I guess that we're going to be a little island again. So yeah, we need with no international connections apparently.
I don't know. No, we'll still be in NATO and stuff. I mean, this is.
Yeah. Oh, fair
Like,
enough.
I'm not too worried about us getting invaded, but this is the like.
But we don't need a navy. We're not fighting anyone who's by the sea.
Use George H.W. Bush's terms. This is voodoo economics. This doesn't make sense. Like this, I mean, I can't believe someone's looked at this because people scrutinize manifestos. I can't believe anyone's looked at this and gone, "Yep, this is financially viable."
Exactly.
I don't know how much they think they're saving in Europe. I guess
I would like to see their receipt or whatever it is they've made their budget, because it even says, even here it says Britain has lost control of her borders. Ugh.
Oh yeah, the sovereignty is the best
Yeah,
bit, and referring to personifying Britain is another great one that people like to do. So I had this argument because
I don't know why people are so nationalist. I don't understand it.
No, me neither. But
I like being here. I like its values. You can be patriotic in that way without being mindlessly, oh, my country's better than everyone else.
Exactly, and like
It's
the
so
culture
strange.
thing as well, and the heritage. It's like, oh yeah, our culture and heritage is better. But do you think Britain is a he or a she? Because I actually had to have this argument.
I think it's an it. I think it's an it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because none of those make any sense. It's not even a fucking argument to be had.
Oh god. So, yeah.
What's it in France? What's it in French? I think it's L'Angleterre, isn't it? It's LA.
Yeah, it's later. But obviously in Germany it's a man. But the Germanic countries generally have a man, like fatherland, etc. But obviously then we have Britannia, who is a woman, and so.
Well, I've had to sing her fucking song too many times.
We
were forced to sing that
I'm
at school.
so glad I didn't grow up in this country.
Hey Britannia, Britannia rules the
like
waves. No, we don't. I still have to sing that in school. I have to sing Britannia rules the waves. What does that even mean?
No, yeah, I think Americana rules the waves.
Oh, Disney rules the waves. It's got the biggest fucking navy, hasn't it?
Disney?
Yeah, Disney has the biggest navy. I mean, if you count floats and not individual ships.
That's amazing.
But it has the highest number of units.
Oh, I love capitalism.
Healthcare and NHS. I don't know.
Oh, here we go. Here's how we'll save your money. Your money. Cut excess councillors' allowances and expenses. Slash excessive pay deals for senior councillors. Limit the number of high-paid council employees. Cut council. Basically, like, we want the council to be dynamic, but we want it to have no money while it's being dynamic. Build partnerships to reduce costs. Abolish non-essential and politically correct positions and red tape. So remove.
Politically correct is a dangerous one, because politically correct. I mean, I don't know. People seem to have a very strange misunderstanding of what it is. Yes, because
it's a double-edged sword, admittedly, but I quite like it that people get to feel a bit guilty before. I mean, even me, I've used the word fag and gay a couple of times in a derogatory sense, and I feel bad about it. That's good, because those are wrong things to use.
See, but faggot, there's a full difference between, there's semantic change within words. I don't think faggot really means. It's like the word gay. You'll say oh, that's gay.
Well, everyone knows I'm referring to faggot as in the meatball, so.
Oh, well, exactly.
And I'm referring to gay as in the term of happiness.
Saying something's gay it doesn't say, oh, you are homosexual, therefore you are wrong.
No.
The word gay just kind of means just shit. I think this is you just say, oh, that's gay. Like, I don't think it means the same thing, and it really doesn't mean the intention of the word.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So
Once again, philosophy of language kind of thing. But this is
exactly.
this is their kind of political correct. Like, they want to stamp out on any kind of protection against that kind of thing.
So I mean, what will political correctness lead to? What is me saying calling people nigger? Is that political correctness? I can't say what I want because there is a serious difference between freedom of speech and freedom to offend.
Yeah, there's definitely
a very thin line.
saying that's gay, and then there's saying you're gay.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah.
It's the difference between saying that's gay and that gets fucked in the ass, therefore I don't like it.
Yeah. And then we obviously, here's the main one. I'm not sure why this one isn't in the top and in big bold letters, because they seem to hark on about it. Leave the EU and save 53 million every day. Because that's the only number we've got stated in this. That's the only pound sign in this. And their symbol is the damn pound sign. I expect them to use it a bit more. Then we've got the drop the EU landfill directive, which after 5 seconds of Google research, we worked out is something to literally prevent pollution.
Yeah.
It's to keep your drinking water sustainable, which I think should be dropped immediately. Disgusting.
Because that's not even climate change. Like, they can have a go at climate change, but that's
like
if you piss in my drink, it tastes like piss. So
I want to pollute all the water. Stop
exactly,
Captain Planet.
Which one of the rings do you think UKIP? I think UKIP's heart.
Yeah, I think they definitely believe purely in heart.
Exactly, they're the ones that like we don't care about any of this earth-based shit, this natural stuff. We want heart, and it's a British heart beating to the national anthem. But Christ, there's
control immigration. I don't know how controlling immigration and easing the burden on local services saves money, because these immigrants do pay tax. I mean, you may claim that like millions of them, or maybe 500,000, or maybe treble 500,000 being 40,000 isn't paying tax, but they are.
Well, there's the issue. As soon as we become citizens, then it's they're sending the money home, but they're still paying tax on the money before they send it away.
Close unnecessary central government departments and quangos. Now, quangos are I can't be asked to describe what a quango is, but I'm fairly sure I know. It's kind of like the Ponzi schemes in America?
Yes.
Like, just another kind of...
cool.
It's something that anti-capitalists use most of the time, which is I'm surprised they used it. But end wasteful EU and UK subsidies to renewable energy scams, such as wind turbines and solar farms.
And then there's their transport thing. They want a really good public and private transport system, and then they don't like the high speed railway.
Yeah, they want efficient. They want efficient stuff, but they want it all on the old stuff.
I mean, I don't fully understand this, because surely they are investing in it because it makes sense.
I don't know. To be fair, I personally think HS2 is a bit pointless, but I mean, I understand. I mean, it's for the whole kind of modern world thing. I mean, because London is an international hub. It's one of the mega cities of the world. I think it's one of the only 2 Alpha++ cities.
Yeah.
And so to link anywhere to London within an hour obviously makes that place a lot more globally viable.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And so that's the logic behind it. But equally, I don't know. I mean, I don't take the train, as you know. I coach it everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I thought the train system was pretty good. I mean, it costs enough. You'd think it would be good enough, which is the other thing. HS2 is going to cost an obscene amount.
Does it actually?
I think it will. I think that's the problem. They're not going to, it costs so much to make. They can't charge nothing for it. And trains are expensive, man.
They are expensive to use. I mean, but surely a high-speed train system, surely everything will one day be faster. So surely all of our trains will one day be part of the high-speed train system. You got to build one first. That's just got to happen.
True, but I think this is what I mean. Obviously, it's not the bullet train of Japan. But I'm thinking it's kind of a.
Is it not the bullet train?
It's a specialized track. I don't think it's magnets. Though, goddamn, I wish it was magnets.
I want the bullet train. Bullet trains are fucking amazing.
Sure, but we might as well just move to Japan for the bullet train.
Well, but then how does it work in Japan, and how does it not work here?
Well, I think it works now. I just don't think that's what they're building. I don't think. I did look into HS2 briefly, but it's. To be fair, I mean, like I said, they're against it, and I think I know one of the political commentators on the BBC was saying that quite a few of their votes in kind of the area of which HS2 goes through were in the voting pattern, and obviously UKIP is one of the parties that's actually against HS2, so that might have been where some of their votes came from.
I see.
So obviously not 21% of HS2 live. Well, not 21% of people live along HS2. Yeah, HS2 is London to Birmingham. No. Yes. Sorry. The HS2 is in 2 stages. HS2
Yeah.
is the first one is London to Birmingham.
Yeah.
Solely, and then the second 2 phases is London, Birmingham, and London to Manchester, Sheffield, and Leeds. And
Sounds like a good
there's
network.
there's a future proposal for London to Edinburgh and
Oh,
Glasgow.
that would be incredible. How
God,
fast does that do it?
Imagine how expensive that would be, though.
You ever taken a train to fucking Edinburgh?
Yeah.
It's long.
Is it?
Yeah, it's long.
Well,
Maybe
didn't
it's
mind
the
our
company.
8-hour trip. I mean, that was fine.
Maybe it's the company I keep on those transport systems.
That's right, I just fell asleep. It's a much more efficient system. Here we go. Proposed standard time 4 hours to Edinburgh.
That's incredible. It's 8.5 at the moment.
Is it? Sure.
Yeah.
Well, even by train as well as by coach.
Yeah. Oh, is that from London?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it'd be about 8.5 from London.
Bloody hell.
Error.
But yeah, there you go. That is yeah.
Well, the other ones are like food
Birmingham
and
is
farming.
1 hour 20 from London, by the way.
Oh, I see. Okay, Jesus. That's actually not that much faster. But...
Oh wait, no, sorry. I've been reading the wrong things.
Yeah.
Shit. To Edinburgh is 4 hours. To Birmingham would be 49 minutes, which isn't that much of a time difference between 1 hour 20. I don't think.
True. I mean, I don't know how. Well, you got to start somewhere.
I suppose. Anyway,
So,
I think we spent too much time on HS2.
Well, the other ones are really sort of just there's stuff like there's about food and farming.
Yeah,
there's
British roads.
Support GM foods. Well, yeah, obviously that's what the current government does. That's what every government does. And then there's fishing. They have a big problem with fishing.
They pro or anti-GM foods.
Return 2.5 billion a year in fish sales to the UK economy. I don't believe fish makes that much, but okay.
Well, their problem is that they think our fish are being stolen because our fish are so much better, and I don't. Thankfully, I don't know the science or the kind of facts behind fishing, but the Common Fisheries Act works both ways, so I'm assuming there's a.
Well, the problem they're facing is that like they've just said they talk about the EU quotas about getting rid of fish that a quarter of fish are dumped. The EU is getting rid of that. So the EU is responding.
Excellent.
So
yeah,
but the problem is
this entire thing is based on shock value, isn't it?
Exactly.
I mean, this is vote for us because we've managed to make a boogeyman out of something that isn't.
Exactly, and I think
the
fear is that people just don't want to access information like this because I found that out through just checking the BBC News website.
Yeah,
that's not going to be on the actual news show because it's not big news.
I'm so disillusioned with how little people actually I was talking about this earlier today with someone, just how little people care and read about what they're voting for. Like it almost makes you when Voltaire said that common man doesn't deserve to vote, it almost makes you feel like that. Almost.
Well, people don't seem to use the internet, and the problem is I think most of the people voting probably don't use the internet. Don't check up this information.
Yeah, they don't use it for the right thing. Because this is I mean. In Australia, I know they force people to vote. I think you should force people to read this stuff. I mean, I know you have to say what you want against the nanny state, but send out the manifestos, make them answer a damn quiz on it, because this is politics. This is important.
But Aaron, come on, that's boring, man.
Yeah, it's also important.
Well,
people are willing to spend so much time talking about boring stuff. I can't believe that they don't want to waste 20 minutes of their day talking about this. Those 20 minutes you talk about whether you want to paint your fence or not, spend it fucking reading this.
Who gives a shit? And also it comes down to they want to say it's all inclusive, we. I don't know why stupidity isn't treated as a fucking ideology. Because it says, we let in everyone's ideas. What if people don't have fucking ideas? What if they're just voting? That's dangerous. I mean, I know that stopping stupid people from voting maybe even lead to more dangerous things. But still,
unfortunately, they've got to vote. Yeah, I'd much rather they. That's a horrible crosshair. I mean, did you see that thing Simon sent me the other day about Arrow's impossibility theorem about democracy being flawed?
Yes,
it makes me depressed, but I think he might have a point. But anyway, after how they're going to save us money, you then get the chance to sign up, and it costs £30 a year to be a UKIP member.
Really?
Yeah, or if you get 5 years, it costs you 120, so you save £30. So it's nice to see even they operate on kind of buy one get one free capitalism. Also, you can join the Patrons Club for £1,000, which is pretty low to be a patron, but obviously of the wrong thing. I mean, yeah. Anyway, I don't think I'm never going to look at that form again. And so here we get to at the end of the local manifesto. They have why we are voting UKIP, and they have 5 salts of the earth who've decided that they are going to vote UKIP. And the first 2 of them we ever learnt about, we actually learnt that they're pretty controversial people, which is a good start. But so we have Roger Helmer, who's an EMP, which means he's a European politician, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, member of European Parliament. I left the Conservatives and joined UKIP because Cameron has lost touch with grassroots and broken too many promises. Now, I'm not sure when he said this, but Mr. Helmer has all those kind of... Like, you know how we paint you... I get that we might be too quick to demonize UKIP as kind of, like, backwards, kind of, you know, all the kind of right-wing negative traits. But this man seems to embody that.
Well, this grassroots, it's such a basic way of saying it. Yeah, the people. But yeah, no, what were you saying? I mean, I've seen some members of UKIP. Actually, I'll tell you what. There was somebody from UKIP who was kicked out recently. I've completely forgotten what the fuck his name is. But yeah, no, he was for bestiality. I'm not sure about that one because that one can be argued against. But basically, he was just saying that he wanted gay marriage, gay adoption. He thought incest shouldn't be criminalized, and loads of things like this. And he was actually fired because a lot of even though UKIP doesn't really have a manifesto on these social policies, he was fired for his opinions. He also wanted drugs legalized. But he was fired for this. So clearly, there is like an underlying unsaid social policy. Well, I mean, it's not that unsaid because they want to remove us from the EU and stop immigration in any way because clearly they're xenophobic and they want to get rid of political correctness, whatever the fuck that means, just being racist more, without being criticised for just being ignorant. Yeah. But yeah, there does seem to be an underlying and unsaid social policy that they are not saying anything about.
Indeed, it's kind of it's weird because
and you see it from their members.
It's freaky when they say we're not racist because obviously that's not something you should have to say. But it's equally freaky when they just don't mention things. And like I said, I think this is why it's interesting that this guy has talked about homosexuality so much.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, he does not like gay marriage, doesn't he?
No, this is the one. Yeah, he's the one who doesn't believe there's any discrimination against homosexuals.
Is that Winston McKenzie?
No, this is Roger Helmer.
Okay.
We'll get to Winston McKenzie in good time. This is the MP. Another interesting thing, because he is a UKIP MEP, but he was voted as a Conservative one and defected. So this doesn't mean that they've had an elected UKIP MEP. And also, why has UKIP got MEPs? They don't want to be part of Europe.
Clearly, Roger Helmer does. I assume they're writing the checks.
I understand it's the only one they think they can win, but also, Roger Helmer's a really international gent. It turns out he's lived everywhere.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why he has such hatred for so many people.
Maybe he lived there and realised he hated them all.
Yeah, maybe. He's like, I just don't fit anywhere.
So he did call the Roman Catholic Church systematic paedophilia. So, hey,
the whole church paedophilia thing. This is something that
it's a cheap hit. But...
It's a cheap hit because a lot of the time it just crops up and it's being buried, but that isn't what the whole thing's about.
So the whole thing is about something much more sinister.
Much more sinister.
But that's another podcast.
Exactly.
Winston McKenzie is the second lovely man. He goes, I used to vote Liberal Democrat, but joined UKIP, which seems really far removed.
Yeah, I don't understand how we got from there to there. That's weird.
Because the Lib Dems have lied and let down students, parents, and the elderly. And Winston McKenzie is the guy who, as far as I'm aware, also said some not nice things about gay people. I think. I don't want to just slander a man. Yeah, that was it. Child abuse. Phew, I got it right. He's the one who said that adoption by gay couples constitutes child abuse and a violation of human rights.
Yes, see, this child abuse thing is a violation of human rights, yes, against gay people. That's, if you've ever read the Human Rights Act, it clearly states that it does not say a gender, it says everyone has the right to a family and to marriage. What he's just said is the complete opposite of what it is.
I mean, that just speaks for itself. I mean, just the violation of human rights. I mean,
And
what's so terrible about two?
and I already said this. Like most of kids who are raised in single, well, the problem is that they're single sex homes. Well, people are raised by single mothers all the time and single fathers, which
Yeah.
means that if you have two of them around, so you've got two loving parents who are the single sex, so it's basically just a single mother split into two. Apparently that suddenly is child abuse and makes kids go crazy and confused. Well, I've never been confused about the idea. I was raised by a single mom, and I'm not confused at the idea that people are like I didn't ever go, oh, what's a daddy? It's like I wasn't confused by the idea of like, because I was taught what sex was, so I understood how the process worked, and it's not. If anything, surely, like the fact that we can grow up in a society which seems to, not talk about homosexuality, and then we learn what it is, and we go, oh, that makes sense, that's fine. Surely you would learn that quicker if you were in a society where it was much more common and open. Surely knowledge will always spread quicker in an open society. I don't understand why kids will be confused. These are other arguments, though. These aren't Will Mackenzie's arguments. These are other things I've heard.
Yeah, well, no, I agree.
Exactly.
Mackenzie's argument is literally just that they have no opportunity to grow under normal circumstances.
Exactly. Well,
I mean, normal. Normal is such a terrible word.
Yeah. Well, we should start like, if a guy loses his wife, we should say get remarried now, or you lose your kid. Because this is not a normal circumstance.
Unless you become bisexual, because he needs to be raised. He needs to be raised by two sexes.
Exactly. Maybe the other guy can sleep in the spare bedroom.
It's just pointless. I mean, this is, like I said, this is from a quote unquote libertarian
exactly.
party.
Well, I always libertarianism is that it has liberal sort of.
Well, just the kind of
yeah. So it's that you should never interfere with another man's. But hey, he's saying that it's against human rights, so it is interfering with him. Therefore, he has to say it's intolerant.
So yeah, the first two people who are now voting UKIP have decided I don't want to join the ranks of.
Exactly.
And we got, I used to vote Labour. This is from Louise Bors, who's a councillor, a UKIP councillor. I used to vote Labour, but have joined UKIP because Labour are no longer interested in looking after ordinary working people, which is a terrible phrase. Only UKIP are protecting British jobs.
That doesn't mean anything.
Nope. I mean, ordinary working people protecting British jobs.
Yeah, where we wouldn't have any jobs if no one was protecting them.
That's it. And British. I'm guessing by British jobs she doesn't literally mean jobs in Britain, but jobs worked by the British.
Yes, definitely.
Because there are plenty of British jobs. Like we have one of the best economies in the world. Like irrespective of the crash, like clearly there are British jobs and they are being filled.
But not by the right people.
No, apparently not. And then we have Laura McEvoy, who I'm guessing is the kind of like one of these faces of the youth wing.
She's the young one. She doesn't look that young.
She's 25. I went on Twitter. She has a Twitter account, a quite prominent one.
I joined UKIP because they are a party of the future. Right. Okay. Well, they seem to be quite isolationist, which doesn't seem like the future to me. And the party for my generation, yeah. Well, you want to reinstate Britishness. Oh, I love being British. That's exactly what I want. Right? Unlike the old parties, UKIP are straight talky and do what they promise. Yeah, but what they're saying, I don't want. Like
they're not even that straight talking. Like we said, like quite a lot of this is veiled language or like unmentioned things.
Do what they promise. They're not in fucking power yet. They haven't been able to do shit.
They promise nothing. I mean, they will do what they promise, but that's a completely meaningless sentence because everyone will say that they do what they promise. That's what a promise is. And then Laura McEvoy, I'm disappointed in you.
And then there's the last one, Kat Burnsnell, who says, I joined UKIP because they are the party fighting for a lower tax nation. It's not the council's money, it's the residents' money. There's one slight issue with Kat Burnsnell. I was checking her out. Kat Burnsnell has quite a lot of money. Obviously, I think it was something about that they were earning 1.8 million. Because she's married to the mayor. I've cancelled the thing now, so it might sound I'm just slagging off Kat. But does seem like Kat might be in quite an easy position to want lower taxes so she can have as much as her money as she can. Which if you want to be funding, you know, all of those council, so it's not the council's money. Well, the council needs money to do stuff. Then you fucked yourself in the ass, haven't you? Because if you're lowering tax and you have no money for the council, then it has to be the council's money because the residents will just buy PlayStation 4s with it. They won't build swimming pools. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, she lives in what used to be 4 houses, now all merged into one.
Yes,
Yay.
exactly.
A modern day success story. I think we all agree. She is definitely the ordinary. Oh no, she wasn't all confessing for the ordinary people, but hey, that just shows how much appeal UKIP's got. It can apply to everyone.
Exactly. Although I'm not sure that many low-income people on that list.
No, all of these. No. That's the other thing. All of these people look really kind of just kind of well off.
How are they gonna pay for the schools? They want to build more grammar schools. Yeah, exactly.
This is the thing. We're at the end of the manifesto now. I mean, this is just. I mean, like in light of the vote. Yeah. And you know, I mean, the Conservatives were down something like 350. I think a bit less than council seats. UKIP was up something like 140, 150. Like Labour was up, but not by nearly as much as they lost in previous council elections. Like, I'm almost a bit kind of wary. I want to say scared's probably a bit of an overreaction for the 2015 election.
I'm not sure if many people have read this and questioned it because the money thing aside, like the money makes no sense. Where's the money coming from?
It's just the underlying current, like the things these people believe in.
There was just an isolationist sort of policy, and isolationism doesn't work. I think they were talking about that they wanted to cut the what was it, the human oh, come on, man. Why do I forget words? How irritating.
The human
they wanted to cut the human help fund? I've forgotten the word. I've forgotten the word for.
I got no idea.
Yeah, no. They wanted to cancel the humanitarian.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. Yes.
That makes more sense. So
they want foreign aid. They want
to cancel foreign aid because they think it's using up the money. Well, I mean, foreign aid seems like quite a nice way to get involved in the international community. So we're not helping. We're not funding any of the planet.
Sure, but this is definitely I mean, this is UKIP. Quite a lot of this seems like codified pub talk. Because I've seen people down the pub talking about foreign aid, and it's like, oh, there's so much wrong with this country. Yet you see that Browns are given 20 million to the, the Czechs or whatever.
Exactly. Let's I think 20 million is. It's probably about 0.01% of the fucking economy. It's nothing. So
exactly.
if we can bear to spend 53 million a day,
and we're one of the best economies. We have one of the biggest economies in the world. Like, that's just a fact. And giving to people isn't a bad thing. Like, this is the most annoying thing, I think, at the end of the day. It's like a joke. Like, a joke only hurts if it's slightly true.
Yes.
Like, and so the annoying thing about this is I can definitely see why people are voting for it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not an endorsement. That's not saying this is right or anything. This isn't like one of those cop outs like I'm trying to play on neutral. It's a bad thing they're voting for it. These people are voting for it for the wrong reason.
Yeah. It's nice to get behind the whole, oh yeah, we're all Britain and we're all one. But you do sacrifice a lot of other things.
And like, this is...
Yeah. You sacrifice your standing in the international community. The whole political correctness, wanting to get rid of political correctness, I don't know what that means. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say, oh, whatever, think of the children dangerous. I'm just like, yeah, that could like literally take us back to sort of maybe the 80s when you could have open sort of, what was it? There was a conservative, there was a conservative leaflet that said, if you want a nigger for a neighbour, vote Lib Dem or Labour. I don't want that.
Exactly. And it's like, I know Prince Philip is a bloated caricature, but it's like, like when he uses terms like wog, etc., or call those Chinese people that they have slanty eyes, like we can laugh at that, but that's not,
But
Like
we're
we're laughing at that because that is ridiculous. We're not
Exactly.
laughing at that because that's how we should all be. That's not
Exactly.
an ideal to aspire to.
It's the ideological like version of someone like shitting themselves in a lift. Like you'd laugh at it because you'd be like, "Oh my god, why the hell did you do that? That was fucking horrible."
But when
That's
everyone
what he's
starts
doing.
shitting themselves, then there's a problem.
Exactly. Then no one's laughing and it stinks of shit.
Oh, is that a good note to end it on?
I think that's.
I think that's a good note to end it on. Anyway, we've just tried to deal with a legitimate issue. So
and the sad thing is that the only people who will listen to this will agree with us.
Yeah, this is the annoying thing. I can't broadcast this in every kind of working class Yorkshire pub. So I only like-minded people on the internet, and this is where the discussion doesn't go anywhere.
And they just say, "Oh, you're liberals, you don't understand."
Yeah, I get. I mean, while talking, there are bits where I have felt pretentious, but I mean, it's a self-sustaining belief, and believing in logic and compassion and things like that aren't terrible, and numbers, like actually wanting the economy to work.
I think the best thing to take away is that we haven't been like whatever we say. Obviously, our opinions are our own, so we have to say, "Oh yeah, we're right." But we've definitely pointed out some valid problems with UKIP.
At the end of the day, we want you to read this thing, and I mean, if you're in the UK, I mean, I want you to read this even if you're outside of the UK, because this is some good comedy. But I mean, especially in the UK, and just kind of people need to be interested in politics, because otherwise stuff like this happens, and the pissed off people, the kind of disillusioned working class and old people are the only ones who vote. Because that's another thing. Only a third of people turned out to vote. Like that is.
It's not very much.
That's terrible. And this third, out of that third, then like 20-30%. Like that's dangerous. That's not funny.
Well, at least if they win, then we'll all be all British.
I mean, it's sad because we'd be on the winning side out of all this. Like I don't know why we are. They're looking out for us technically. I don't want them to look out for me.
It's weird. Why do I feel so uncomfortable with them looking out for me?
I think it's because we don't like white privilege and all this kind of terrible. It's just this is what they're relying on. They're relying on people to validate themselves by the fact they are British, which means nothing. I mean, we have things similar culturally. That's because we live in the same place and are ruled by the same quite competent government. Like that is like nation. They built nation from scratch. It's just an ideal. It's not it doesn't give you any special privilege, not outside of tangible privilege, like your nice passport that you get that you can travel to places because you're in the EU. But other than that,
but
nation isn't a nation.
Is it worth 53 million a day? Because I'll tell you what. I'll end it on a note that I think everyone can agree with. First it'll be the Bulgarians, then the Romanians, and then it'll be the bloody gays.
Yes.
Yes.
The sad thing is, I know someone has probably said that.
Definitely. My granddad believes there's a homosexual conspiracy.
Well, this is the thing, because
What a self-defeating conspiracy! No, we gone in a fucking generation.
We've made everyally gay.
Exactly.
Let's have an orgies for the next 70 years till everyone's dead.
I think it's probably where we should leave it.
We should cut that. Anyway.
Alright, have fun everyone.
Thanks. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks for listening. Links are in the description for the UKIP manifesto.
We'll be on lighter topics next time.
Goodbye.
Later.